the Islamic Sharia Council of Britain and is also the founding member of the website www.islam21c.com. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We were discussing the issue of how the wife needs to ask permission from the husband before letting anyone into his house.
Yes.
Now, we spoke specifically about people entering the house. What about things that might seem minor, but it happens? For example, the postman comes or delivery comes to the address. Is this part of the same condition?
Yeah, this is a good point. This is a very good point. See, in modern life, the husband should give his wife, again, certain guidelines that she should have some freedom to judge and to act and to decide. Okay? So, he should not put it as if she is really in prison. And before you take any decision, you have to call me in order to take my permission. I don't think this is a treatment in kindness at all. So it is up to both of them to decide. And again, as I always say, that if you put so many restrictions on your wife, at one point, she will break down. And then don't argue, don't complain. Yeah? Don't say, well, there was nothing wrong. No, things were accumulating, but you were unaware of them. And as we are talking about these things, I always give the following example of a cup and water dripping into the cup. Yeah? The cup is not a glass cup, not a transparent. So you look at the cup from this side and water is dripping there. 1 dot, 2 dots. Yeah? So it is about to be full. But now you, because there is no transparency between both sides, you don't see
the level rising.
The level of water, the level of frustration. You don't see it. Then all of a sudden, one drop makes it spill. Yeah? Spill over and, or if the cup is weak, maybe one drop will damage the cup and water will spill everywhere. Yes? You might say, what happened as a husband or even as a wife? But in particular husbands. Because sometimes some husbands, they come to us and they say, the wife, all of a sudden she doesn't want me. All of a sudden she wants to go to her family. All of a sudden she wants khul or divorce. I don't know what happened. Just yesterday she told me that she wants to attend the wedding of her brother. And I told her no. And then everything that blew out of proportion.
Of course, he's not been seeing that the level has been rising.
He has not been seeing that the cup is being, what? Filled with water, with problems. And then that was the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. Yeah? So don't do this. And make sure that if there are drops, make sure that you look at the cup to know. So make sure that there is, what? A level of transparency.
That's very
and
important.
By the way, the wife or even the husband, okay, me and my wife should have a level of transparency. My dear wife, I'm not happy with this attitude. Okay.
A bit of communication.
Or, yes, openness. Okay, it has been going on in my chest. I have to tell you. Okay, I'm not happy. Please. And also, each party should see the situation with the other side. Yeah? Even if the other side, his nature, her nature, cannot open up easily. I should try to see her level of happiness, her level of frustration. And if I am checking that continuously, and I am making sure as well that the cup, yeah, is empty. So if I made something wrong, or if I committed something wrong with her, or I upsetted her, so a few drops went into the cup.
Try and rectify it.
Try to rectify it in order those drops come out. So the cup will remain what? Empty. Yeah? And then there will be no point that comes and then, wow, what happened? I never expected this reaction from her. No, she is exaggerating. No, akhi. She is not exaggerating, but you did not understand her in the first place. Of course, same thing with the wife as well when she treats her husband.
Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. I think we've mentioned this quite a lot in terms of the right the husband has over the wife, in terms of her not letting anyone into the house without his permission. So inshallah, we move on to the next point. We want to move on to the next right that the husband has over the wife now. I want to mention the right where the wife should not leave the house of the husband except with his permission.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. As we said in the previous episode, we spoke about the rights of the husband over his wife, and she's not allowed to let anyone to enter his house without his permission. And also, she's not allowed to go outside his house without his permission. All the scholars said this, that she is not allowed to go outside his house without his permission. Okay? They took this from the right of obedience.
Yeah.
Because فَالصَّالِحَاتُ قَانِتَاتٌ حَافِظَاتٌ لِلْغَيْبِ. As Allah Jalla wa'ala described righteous women, Salihat, they are righteous, and qanitat means obedient to their husbands. So if the husband said, don't go, don't go. This is part of being obedient. Now, also in the long hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ was giving the sermon of Al-Wada', the final sermon, the Prophet ﷺ said, treat women kindly, for they are housed in your properties or in your houses. They are housed means you have put them in your houses, which means that the original status is that they are kept in your houses. So treat them kindly. Now this hadith doesn't mean that I should treat my wife as a captive in my house. No, the Prophet ﷺ wants to soften our hearts as men, okay? And is telling us that be careful, their main place to live or to dwell in is the house.
This is where they feel safe, they feel protected.
Yes, from one angle, but from the other angle, okay, from the other angle that this is their place. And this is the agreement, and this is the contract. If they want to go outside, they have to seek permission. Okay? And even the scholars said, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Abu Hanifa, and others, with some details, they said that she is not allowed to visit ill people without his permission.
And we know how recommended this is.
Yes, yes. Again, they said that she is not allowed to visit her parents without his permission. Now, again, as I said previously, the husband should not abuse this right, otherwise it will lead to grave consequences.
We said the less that both parties abuse the right, the more relaxed the relationship will be.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And the less tolerance between both sides, the relationship will become tensed. And the relationship will not be a smooth relationship. And each party will pick on the other side. And once they reach to this level, they need to sit together to think about it carefully. We will be discussing divorce and ending marriage, because sometimes if they have reached to the level that the life between them becomes so difficult, then it might be better for them to end it.
And this is a mercy in this case.
This is a mercy. But we don't want it to reach to this level. And that's why we say, live in kindness with each other. Treat your partner, with kindness, that is better. However, if something happened, then you need to observe this. And the wife, when she presents this, demonstrates this to her husband, which, as I said previously, demonstrates obedience to her husband, she will win his heart. And she will encompass his love as well. And then her husband, he will be the one who is giving her more freedom, even more rights. But if the husband was stubborn and he's abusing his power, he has the right. But he should bear the consequences.
Yes.
This is what we are saying. Okay? If you keep doing this, this will lead to grave consequences with your wife.
It will not be a very happy relationship if you continue this.
Exactly. It will not be a happy relationship. And then she will start creating problems for you. And then later on you will start complaining. Yeah, it is up to you. It is up to you. I wanted to say something, if time allows, which is, you know, in certain cultures, it is part of the norm that women leave the houses, either for study, for education, for whatever reason, or for work. For work. So what to do in this circumstance? Now, see, if that is the norm, then it should be discussed carefully in the contract.
Okay, so
before getting into the contract.
So this possibly could be a condition?
Yes, it should be a condition. For example, if the norm in this country that women work, yeah, it is the norm, it is the asl, it is the well-known practice, and no one dispute about this. Okay? So if I want to get married to a wife from that culture, I should say, by the way, are you going to do this or not?
Make it clear from the beginning.
Make it clear from the beginning. Why is this? And this is a matter of confusion for many brothers and sisters, and that's why we receive so many cases in the Islamic Sharia Council, because of this misunderstanding this point and how to deal with this issue. Yeah?
Brothers and sisters, please come back to us in the next part of the episode where we shall continue to talk about the rights of the husband over the wife. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
النكاح من سنتي مبارك.
The value of money in the hereafter will be measured by its proper use in the present.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة.
According to the glorious Quran, one of the best ways to use your money is to spend it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by spreading His message of Islam. Peace TV is a non-profit Islamic satellite television channel that is primarily dedicated for just that cause, the proper presentation of Islam. It's a great choice to invest in it and a golden opportunity to purify your wealth in a way that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Support Peace TV. Send your zakat and donations to IRFI Al Ryan Bank, 47 Calthorpe Road, Birmingham, UK. B151TH. Pound account number 011-32301. IBAN GB49ARAY 30008301 132301. Sort code 300083. Swift BIC code ARAY GB22. Please confirm your contribution at support@peacetv.tv.
Support Peace TV, the solution for humanity.
Most countries of the world ban bullying. They fight it in their schools and universities. A lot of us are being bullied differently every single day. Some come up to us and say, do this, while others say, don't you dare. Some say this is halal, while others say, nope, this is haram. Are you confused? Do you feel lost? Join me in Umdat al-Ahkam, where, with the grace of Allah, we will learn the proper knowledge from the Quran and from the Sunnah, which would help stop this kind of bullying.
Join Asim Al Hakim in Umdatul Ahkam, next on Peace TV.
النكاح من سنتي مبارك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome again, brothers and sisters, to the continuation of the discussion of the rights that the husband has over the wife. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We were just continuing the discussion on the rights of the husband over the wife. and in particularly the fact that the wife should seek permission from the husband if she would like to leave the house.
Yes. I was saying that in certain circumstances, in certain cultures, it is the norm that the wife works. Yeah? It is the norm. All wives, or most of them, work. It is not. Most of them go for education if she is studying. Then what to do in this case? In this case, it has to be discussed before the marriage, before the actual contract. And it should be clarified from both sides.
This is a major point. You don't want to leave it.
A major point. As I said, there are many problems, yeah, in many marriages because of this issue. The husband might say, after getting married to her, no, I don't want you to study. What? What do you mean? No, I don't want you to study. And then she becomes, once he says this to her, yeah, now the mood, it changes. And then when she tells this to her parents, oh, the problem is escalated. Yeah? And then many brothers do say that, look in Quran and Sunnah, look what the scholar said, that the wife should not leave her husband's house without his permission. And she wants to leave. No, this is my right. I don't want you to study. Just stay. Now we say, in this case, why didn't you clarify this? And normally the answer is, no, I don't need to clarify it because this is in Quran and Sunnah. We say, see, this became a custom. Yes? And it has been well established among the scholars that al-ma'ruf urfan kal-mashruut shartan. If something is known, it is as if it is what? A shart, a condition. So this should be treated as if the wife said, I want to marry you, I accept to marry you, provided that you allow me to study and you agree to it.
So in this case, should it go back to the nikah? Is it on the wife to put the condition, I want to work, or the husband to put the condition, I don't want you to?
What I am saying is that if it is known in this custom that wives go and attend schools or continue their education if they are studying, or if they are working, they will continue their work. This is the norm in this culture, in this part of the world. If that is the case, then going against the norm have to be specified in the contract. Because now that norm, as we said, it is established among the scholars that al-ma'ruf urfan kal-mashruuti shartan. What is known, yeah, what is customly practiced, yeah, and known to all people, it is like what? It is like if it was taken or stipulated as a condition. So to go against that, you should stipulate it otherwise. You should stipulate in the contract that I don't want my wife to work.
Otherwise this would be a strange issue.
Otherwise you are going against the stipulated condition. It was not stipulated, but because it was known, and it is the practice, it is the norm, so this will be treated by the scholars as if it is a stipulated conditions. Then you, as a husband, if you are not happy with it, have to nullify it. And this is a common problem, a very big problem. And that's why I advise my brothers and sisters to discuss certain matters that are, or certain practices that are the norms of that culture carefully. In London in particular, it is not a well-established norm, but it is a norm that wives continue their studies. If she is studying in the university, she continues her study, and if she is working, that she continues work. However, just to travel 200 kilometers, 100 miles away from London to Birmingham, maybe because of the background of Muslims in Birmingham, I did ask them, is it known that wives work? And they said, some wives do work. But is it what is the norm? They said you cannot tell 50-50. Yeah? Maybe there is another element for this, because maybe Birmingham is cheaper than London, and in London both parties have to work. Yeah? Maybe. Okay? This is an element to be taken into consideration. That's why we in the Islamic Sharia Council normally investigate. If there is a dispute, we need to understand what is the norm.
Yes.
Okay? But if there is a confusion, it is good that both parties agree and clarify the matter of confusion, and this will minimize possible disputes between them over this, which sometimes might be a minor issue.
And of course, this should be done before signing the nikah.
Before signing the nikah. Before signing the nikah, my dear brothers and sisters, discuss these issues, because after signing the nikah, if it was not stipulated in the nikah contract that I want this from my wife, or she says I want this from my husband, then it has no value. By the way, among the common wrong practices, husband and wife have problems between them. Yeah? She leaves the house, she becomes whatever, yeah? Unhappy with him, I want divorce, no. Okay, what do you want? Okay, let us sit and discuss things, let us sit and agree on things. Then they write a paper between both of them. Yeah? You do this, I do this, you do this, I do this, clear, clear, sign. Yeah? They ask, does this paper hold any legal Shar'i value? And the answer is, my dear brothers and sisters, listen, the answer is no. I wanted to separate from him, but we agreed that he will allow me to do this, or I will allow her to do this. No. If these conditions were put in the contract, then yes. But after the marriage, no. If it happened that they were divorced and the iddah is over and now they remarry, they can put these conditions. But to tell me that I agreed with my wife that I will put these things in writing, and we agreed to put these in writing and we both signed on them, it has no value. And by the way, unfortunately, many imams and many members of Islamic Sharia councils in different places, they help both sides to write these points after their marriage, and this is wrong. This is wrong. In fact, it has a negative implication on the marriage. Why is this? And instead of looking at the root causes of the problems, we are putting conditions on each other. And putting conditions on each other outside the nikah. Listen, my dear brothers and sisters, I know that we are running out of time, but this is a very important issue for when we discuss the recipe of marriage. By the way, as we said, we are discussing the issues of rights of both sides in order to fix the marriage, in order to have successful marriages. So this is part of the discussion. It's not just to discuss the rights and the duties from a fiqh perspective. No, this is to fix the marriage.
Yes.
So, the worst thing the imams do is to sit with both parties and to agree on certain things. He will do, she will do. Put it in writing and sign. Why is this?
It becomes like a job description.
Becomes like a job description. And obviously, if I have a problem with my wife, then the root cause of the problem have to be solved. Having it in a document, in a contract, and this is what you signed that you will do, and this is what we'll sign, will worsen the situation, because the minute she doesn't do it, the minute I'll see, we have just written it. You are not fulfilling that condition.
We start to use it against each other.
We'll start using it against each other. And even it will become worse, because there will be no, this is not what I meant. No, this is not what I meant. No, you wrote it. No. What does this mean? It will lead to further problems. Yeah? Let alone, in many cases, it will give wives stronger hands on their husbands or over their husbands. Yeah.
Before we end the episode and move on, is there anything you'd like to, for example, summarize about this point?
Yeah, the issue is that, as we always say, that these are guidelines, framework to be followed. Okay? If both parties want to give up those rights, it is up to them, and they can live amicably with each other. There will be, inshallah, no problem with that. It is not haram for them to give up those rights.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Shaykh.
Barakallah fi.
Brothers and sisters, please return to us in the next episode where we shall continue to discuss the rights of the husband on the wife, and we might even move on to the rights of the wife upon the husband. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نكاح مبارك